have to go back.
Let's go. They're waiting for me at the studio.
We have to go back, Wayne.
We're back.
Yes, he's back in the motherfucking house with a fucking mask.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
We told you. No one believed us. We made a playoff hype video. You just saw a clip from that. We said we have to go back, and we are back. The boys did it. They take out the Dallas Stars in 5. Just as we've been predicting, that's 3 predictions in a row. I was off by 1. I predicted a sweep. But you got this one, T-Dot. You kept the streak going. And, boys, we are 4 wins away from 35-year wait being over and lifting Lord Stanley.
Yeah.
And this year, boys, this year has it's just been a different year. Everything feels different. The boys are rolling. Terry, you mentioned it earlier when we were talking. Everything just feels different this year. Hey, Terry?
Everything feels different. And guys, June 24th, 2024. That was when the Oilers lost 2-1 in Game 7. And it's been 339 days. And we all talked about this. We felt this. I'm sure, obviously, the players felt this. And we talked about this in the earlier videos that a lot of the time with the regular season, they just wanted to get to the playoffs. And now we're back, finally, to the Stanley Cup Finals, Game 1. 339 days, and we're finally here.
Congratulations to the Edmonton Oilers. Cheering to the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, we won 5 of those. Looking for a 6th one this year. Best part about it is we get to play the team that beat us last year. I want Florida.
Revenge.
Yeah.
Revenge. The revenge tour continues. They're
too focused.
Vegas took us out 2 years ago. The revenge on them happened. And Dallas, all those years. Another thing we touched on, boys, we lost to the Dallas Stars. We were booted from the playoffs by the Dallas Stars 5 times in the late 90s and early 2000s. And we get some more revenge on Dallas. And now we have a chance to get some revenge on the Florida Panthers. And just the way Draisaitl and Leon continue to look so laser focused, it's unbelievable. Knock on wood, boys. I just have a great feeling about this year, and I feel this is the year, and I know you guys do too. Let's get to some stats here. Before we do that, let's thank everyone that has subscribed. We're over 900 subscribers right now on YouTube, so thanks to all the Frozels that have subscribed. Welcome to the Frozen Oil family, and we want to see everyone else that's watching these videos that hasn't subscribed to please hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to support the channel, and it's completely free.
Who else is going to give you predictions of Oilers in 4 or 5 against the Dallas Stars? Who else said that?
We started this channel to bring luck to the Edmonton Oilers, and we thought it was going to be last year. It was heartbreaking loss in Game 7. But we are back, and hopefully this streak continues of working hard. We're working hard over here, making these videos, bringing you these recaps, and we got a lot more on the way. So thanks to everybody for tuning in, and let's get to the statistics here and talk about this game. What an unbelievable game. Everybody had a great game. Maybe there's one Oiler in particular that I thought had a pretty weak game, but thankfully it hasn't been a regular thing for him, and hopefully he learns from this, and to get a win when someone has a rough game, it just gives him that confidence to get back and try harder.
Who is that
23
guy,
shots 17 for the Oilers. And look at that, boys. We said we've been losing in the face-off dot all series, and it was just a matter of time. Like we said, 54-45 for the Oilers on the face-off dot. The power plays, Oilers go 1 for 2. Dallas goes 1 for 2, 50-50. Hits. Look at the Oilers again.
Almost
Zach
50
Hyman's not
hits
even
again.
playing. This guy was getting 10 hits a game, and they still put up 48-43. The Oilers are just... They're just a wagon. They're just a wagon.
You
They're
guys,
just...
Nurse had
give
10
it up.
hits tonight too.
They are a wagon. Let's get into that. And before Terry, I mean, we keep saying it that if it's high
This is the first
800s
time.
or 900s, this is for sure. Skinner with a .824 average, but he did make some great timely saves today.
Yeah, that skate save was unbelievable. That skate
Yeah.
save was literally millimeters from going into the net.
Yes.
Yeah, and he made a few other saves tight, especially in the second period there. He made some big saves, and the Oilers offense kept supporting him with some run support there. You look at these stats. I was mentioning one person had a rough game, which is Brett Kulak. He still finished a +3. I thought he had a rough game today, boys, but again, the Oilers offense bailed them out. And Connor McDavid, goal and an assist. Evander Kane, a humongous goal to give him
Timely
that 2-goal cushion again. Perry with another goal, unbelievable. The ageless wonder. Jeff Skinner comes off the press box after waiting since the first game against Dallas. He's been waiting, and he comes up huge with a humongous goal to make it 3-0. As well, Cappy gets it. What's that?
It took him 2 games to score that goal to complete the lineup. Now I think Max Jones is the only Oiler that hasn't scored a goal, and he hasn't played a game yet.
And let's hope we stay healthy and he doesn't have to. And obviously, Janmark with that humongous goal to go up 2-0. Just overall, final score 6-3. And overall, I mean, what do you say about this team? They keep coming through. Like, what else can we say about this team?
Guys, I had an epiphany, guys. Okay,
Let's hear it.
I know who the Edmonton Oilers are. Rich, you love cinema. The Edmonton Oilers are Happy Gilmore. Follow me on this. You guys remember the movie Happy Gilmore? The guy has all the offense. He would hit massive drives, but didn't know how to putt. And then, of course, he goes and sees Chubbs, and he learns how to putt, and he goes and he ends up winning that tour championship at the end. The Oilers have, and we've talked about this, have finally learned how to play defense, guys. Like, I think this happened probably, what was it, Game 4 against Vegas when Skinner got the shutout. But ever since then, they have absolutely shut down Vegas and shut down Dallas. What was the stat that they were saying? Four shots in the past 3 games in the third period. Four shots they've allowed each game in the past 3 games in a Western Conference final.
In the third period, you're talking.
In the third period.
And
Yeah,
to a team that's fighting for their lives.
And Dallas is an unbelievable team, and there's their shot total in the third period, 4.
If you think back at the Edmonton Oilers, like you said, Terry, you'd always think of them as the run and gun team. We're going to outscore our problems here and that. We are now a defensive juggernaut.
With the offense still, Wayne. Like we can still build the defense out.
Yes, that's why we're unbeatable this year. That's why we are a wagon.
Our team defense, and this is before the Viking even came back. From last year, you're talking about removing Desharnais and removing Cody Ceci and replacing those two with an all-star level performing Klingberg and Jake Wallman. It's a significant upgrade on
and who
defense.
Who would have thought?
I mean, now with the Viking coming back, the defense is even more solid. And we mentioned it last episode. Defense wins championships. But on top of that, you got a game breaker like McJesus. You got a stud like Draisaitl that's going to pop in a few goals there. The secondary scoring, it's a very, 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 very tough formula to beat for an opposing team.
Right.
And we're going to bring you guys, obviously, a playoff preview. We got some time here. Terry, when is the next game? Wednesday?
Wednesday, June 4th. Yeah, Wednesday, June 4th. So
did they give a time?
4th, 6 o'clock. All the games will be 6 o'clock Mountain Time. That's 5%. That's 5 o'clock Pacific or 8 o'clock Eastern Time, if anyone else is watching.
Awesome. So we'll have some time to do a few videos, one of them being obviously the playoff preview video. And just to touch a little bit before we head over to X here, just to touch a little bit on the Florida Panthers. For me, you know, looking at that Florida Panther team from last year, they are, I know they added Marchand, but they are missing 3 guys that were just major factors in that Stanley Cup Finals match last year. And Montador is one of them. Brandon Montour, pardon me. Thank you, Wayner. Montour got signed by Seattle in the offseason. He was just one of those dirty, hard to play against defensemen that had a huge series against the Oilers. He's gone. Oliver Ekman-Larsson as well. I don't know if you guys remember. He had a huge series again. He revived his career. It just happened to stiff us and happened to be against the Oilers. He's gone. And then you have as well, is his name Lomberg? The guy with the long hair that went to Calgary?
Lomberg,
So Lomberg, a heart and soul guy. You know, look what he did for Calgary, just with boosting that team's confidence, dropping the gloves with guys twice the size of him. I mean, this guy has a huge heart and he plays hard. And that guy's off the team. So these role player guys that I thought made a major factor in those first 3 games that the Oilers lost to go down 3-0. Those guys aren't there. So, I mean, I think it's just,
However, Florida does look better as well. So we're not going to undersell Florida. They're definitely going to be tough. What gets me is that we're basically playing a mirror image of our team. We can both score and we can both shut teams down.
Well, you wanted to change the name to the Edmonton Smotherers.
What it comes down to, guys, and anyone that's, you know, an NHL or a hockey fan, I know there's probably a lot of talk, and they're like, we don't want to see the same thing over again, and new teams this, and we're tired of seeing Florida that. What it comes down to is we have the 2 hottest teams going into the finals.
Yeah.
Like the Oilers have lost 4 games in the playoffs. I think Florida's lost 5 games all playoffs, and they're both firing on all cylinders. It's going to be an electric matchup.
And we also have home ice advantage this year, so
which is
big, massive. So we're not gonna talk too much about that because we are gonna have a dedicated episode to that. But it just, there's a lot of things that are gonna be different this year, and a lot of things play into the Oilers' favor. And I mean, it's gonna be tight, but that slight edge can completely swing the series in favor of the Oilers, which, I mean, like we've been saying, look, it's just everything just seems to be coming together properly at the right time. So
we know
we're all looking forward to that. What do you guys think of checking out some awesome tweets from the Oilers faithful and everyone from around the Twitterverse? We are on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow us at Frozen Oil Hockey. And oh, by the way, Terry, you're going to be excited for this. I found another software that has a randomizer thing where you can pick someone for some prizes to give away.
Perfect. So that's what I like.
Hopefully, we're going to have to hook up here in this next week before Wednesday so we can test this software and try that thing out. so we can do some prizes and stuff like that, because we are so pumped and we got a lot of stuff to give away. We were waiting to get to that 1,000 subscriber point, but now that we're in the Stanley Cup Finals, it doesn't matter. We'll start giving away some cool stuff.
And we've got a ton of different content coming out as well, guys. And I heard through the grapevine that if the Oilers win the cup, somebody might be getting a tattoo. I don't know. I might have heard something. So,
and that's going to be filmed, by the way. That'll be an episode
on that.
Yeah, 100%. Let's head on over to Twitter here, guys. Twitter
stud.
X, and let's start it off with a post from the Oilers. Back to Edmonton, Clarence, and look at Draisaitl just take that trophy. What a stud!
And you know what, guys? This is beyond superstition here. It's not because they didn't touch it last year and they want to change things up. I honestly believe McDavid and Draisaitl is sending Florida and everyone else a message here. They're telling everybody the superstition, whatever it is, there is nothing that is going to stop them from getting to their goal to this series.
Yeah.
They're definitely sending a message with that.
Yeah, I agree with
This is beyond the hockey gods.
Wayner, what do you think about that?
Oh, look how good he looks with the trophy in his hands. Now, that's not the one we obviously want, but silver looks good on that guy. German stud. No,
100%.
Absolutely sending a message saying we don't care about superstition, nothing. We're the Edmonton Oilers. We're a powerhouse. Nothing's going to stop us. Okay, all right.
All right, so here is a hype video from the Oilers. Let's hear it. Advanced, baby. Advanced. And Terry, man, we were talking as well before this series even started about Dallas is a good team, and the Oilers took them out in 5 games. Amazing.
They absolutely. I don't want to say dummied. I mean, Dallas had definitely some high points in the series, but it was, in my opinion, wasn't really close in the grand scheme of things.
There's a clear difference between the Oilers and the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, and this was with Ottinger, who was one of the hottest goalies, if not the hottest goalie coming in.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, the Oilers, and it was important that the Oilers won tonight to get that extra rest as well, because Florida did their job.
Oh, we'll give Dallas a shot. We'll take our foot off the pedal and go home and win it there. They said no. We're gonna send you home in your own barn.
Beautiful. Take that 6 days off or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now, Wayner.
Yes, sir.
Wayner, before we show the next one, you did say that the Chris Cuthbert call on the McDavid goal is one of your favorites.
No. I didn't say it was one of my favorites. I said it's my new favorite goal call
it's
of
your
all time.
It's the favorite. But I do have a question to ask you.
Yes.
Did you hear the ESPN commentator's call of that goal?
I did not. No, I just
okay, so that's the one I have ready here off Twitter X. So let's just see how this one compares to the one that you're talking about. Okay.
All right.
And basically the one that everybody, here in Canada watched on Sportsnet. But let's hear this ESPN one, all right?
Okay.
Goat. It's McDavid. Hintz trying to catch him. McDavid scores! A breakaway goal for Connor McDavid. And the Edmonton lead is back to 2.
Just
the best part of that was at the very beginning of the clip. Did he say goat?
They were talking about that, yes.
No, but,
that was the best part of that.
No, hey, great call. I don't know who that guy. I don't know that guy's name, but he's doing some great work. He's got some great calls. But Chris Cuthbert's Connor McDavid, a silencer here. I mean, that's a top tip. I
agree with you there. I have trouble putting Craig Simpson's voice or even a chance of hearing Craig Simpson's voice on this channel. So sorry, Wayner. I'll try to clip it into something else so we can have it in another video. Let's move on to this next one from Sportsnet. Last year, the Oilers refused to touch the Clarence Campbell Trophy. This year, a different story. And here's McDavid. And I don't know, just
team captain Connor McDavid and the 2020
felt like he was going to do it. I just had a weird feeling that he was going to do it.
I think he was talking to Perry on if he should do it or not. It looked like he was. And he yanks this. You know, like Donald Trump when he does the handshake and yanks it? He yanks it.
Look at that.
Wow, he looks good with silver too, eh?
Look at
Sending a message.
Look at that.
Well, he took the handoff, so that's a difference than a year ago.
That's so awesome.
If you're scoring at home in that department.
What a team. What a
Fourth
team.
time in just over 50 years we're going to have a Stanley Cup rematch, the Habs and Bruins 77-70.
And Wayner, you mentioned about that's the 9th time the Oilers have won that trophy, which is a Western Conference all-time record.
Nice, congrats.
So that's another check mark on the on the stats page. Next one here is from Oilers for Life. The janitor just made for the playoff. The janitor is just made for the playoffs, and everybody that talked during the regular season about Janmark, I kept saying in the videos, like, guys, what do you even care? Like, he is a playoff performer, and I just felt that goal by Janmark today was just such like an extinguishing of the crowd, extinguishing of any kind of motivation for the Dallas Stars to get back into this game. And I just wanted to mention the janitor, who is in contention for a stud of the night for me, by the way.
Gotta love playoff Yanni.
That line just played unbelievable this game. Like if you watch, like Arvidsson, who's not a big guy, they ate up a lot of minutes in the offensive zone, and they fought like dogs and along the boards there.
And even Arvidsson was trying to throw his weight around on guys like like Bischel, who are like twice his size, which was really cool to see.
How can you not, when you see all your teammates hitting everything that moves, especially Hyman, who has been lined to break the record for most hits in a playoff year before he got out? I mean, how do you not go in and hit, especially if you're a guy who's in and out of the lineup?
They are a wolf pack. They are a wolf pack, like you said, Wayner. And you know, dogs don't like cats very much. So, looking forward to the next series. Next one from DNL.
I love it.
Stars acquired Mikko Rantanen just to lose to the Oilers in 5 instead of 6.
It's funny that we brought this in because Pete DeBoer in the post game interviews, he's straight up. Yeah, he's a pretty straight up guy. He straight up said the Oilers were way better than his team. He said that they're way better than they are last year. They're defensively they're miles ahead of where they are last year, and you know, he had some high praise for the Oilers.
And guys, you know, and we might have arguably gotten worse in the lineup, but let's give a ton of credit to the coaching staff for that. I mean, that's enough. Like, let's keep this in mind. Last year, Knobloch never had a full year with his team. We still made it to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Now go a full year with the training staff, with a full season with this team to implement his system properly. I mean, tons of credit goes to the coaching staff.
For sure.
We were never thought of as a defensive team ever. And look at us. We're holding the Dallas Stars at home in a must-win game to 4 shots a period. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, what's going on?
What's going on is you're witnessing a championship caliber team perform.
Yes.
And we're going to move on to the next one, and we'll talk a little bit after. Jill Ranford, one of the best handles on Twitter for the Oilers, says, Oilers in how many? And remember when DeBoer was calling for a 5-minute major?
5-minute power play, yeah.
Yeah. So he put that there. And the last one is from Brad Lauder. This one is going to really resonate with us for sure. I wanted to share this one. Enjoy this, Oiler fans. Those of us that remember the dry years of the 90s and the decade of darkness can attest that 2 cup finals in back-to-back years is not an everyday experience, and it can disappear quickly. I know I will never take these times for granted. And boys, man, we have gone from so many highs and lows. And Terry, you mentioned how many days it took for us to get back to this point. We need to figure out how many days it's been since 1990 and we won our last Stanley Cup. I mean, it's been 35 years. I wonder how many regular season games and playoff games it took for us to get back to this point and hopefully this time come home with Lord Stanley. It's been a wild ride. And honestly, when I read that tweet, I got a little bit emotional because it's been such a wild ride with this team. And all of us have been there for the last 35 years and even longer. Watching this team, watching every single game, and it's just the elation right now is through the roof. But at the same time, we all know the job's not done. So, but still very happy.
Yeah, and I think I can't remember who it was, but we touched on this, before. It's just so cool to be an Oiler fan for the past 4 or 5 years and seeing the progression of the Oilers and finally getting to this. And we thought this point was last year, and we didn't realize there's still more room to grow. And now we're finally at this point where we're I said to you, Rich, early betting odds, the Oilers are favored to win the cup going into the final round.
Finally, hey, been underdogs all playoffs, and then finally we get some respect.
Yeah.
So let's get to the best part of the episode here, gentlemen, which is the studs of the night. Obviously, this game was gigantic. So many Oilers played well. Let's kick it off, Terry. Let us know who your stud of the night is.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go. It's crazy. We were talking about stats and how things just seem to play out sometimes, Rich. And with generational talent, it's so weird. And I could be foreshadowing a little bit here, but in '82 and '83, the Oilers lost to the Islanders with Gretzky, and I think they got swept 4-0. And then '83-'84, Gretzky comes back and wins a cup against the Islanders. I think they won 4-1 or something like that. And then you get Sidney Crosby in 2007-2008, lost to Detroit, comes back in 2008-2009, beats Detroit in the Stanley Cup Finals. And now you have McDavid, who's going to be my stud of the night tonight. It's hopefully things play out like they have historically, but McDavid is going to be my stud of the night tonight. Wayner, I know you didn't like him because he was a -1, but the guy had a goal and an assist.
No, I love him.
Yeah, he had a goal and an assist. He scored a very timely goal. Like you said, it was a silencer, but I think it was on the Brett Kulak power play. He was just unbelievable, and he stifled them on that power play. And I love seeing McDavid on the power play because he's just so fast, and it just opens up opportunities for them.
Penalty kill?
Sorry, on the penalty kill. Sorry, on the penalty kill. It just opens up so many opportunities. He's just so fast, and he had a couple really good plays on that penalty kill as well.
If nothing else, sorry Terry. If nothing else, it makes the other team a little bit nervous. Who's trying to, score on a power play.
100%. Like you don't want to turn that over because you have McDavid that could take it the other way.
That's it.
Yeah,
there's nobody back there. Yeah,
you can't.
So it's a pretty obvious one. I think McDavid is my stud of the night because this was an elimination game and he carried that team.
Great pick. Savior comes through. The chosen one comes through. McJesus comes through. Ice Jordan comes through.
Yeah.
What else do you want to call him?
We have all of this depth, guys. Like we have all of this depth, and we're always choosing players, like you said, Janmark on one, and Kane and Hyman, and all this stuff. What it comes down to is, listen, when the depth isn't there, or if we need someone to come through, we have McDavid and we have Draisaitl. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
It's the best. Wayner,
My
who's
stud of
your
the night?
stud of the night?
Well, you know what?
Wayne
Because
kept
I
this
wanna
one
give
secret
a lot-
from us.
A ton of credit to our defense and how they played tonight. I thought everybody was fantastic. But I know he didn't play a lot of minutes, only 15 plus minutes, I believe. But my stud of the night is TSFO coming back. And you know what? You know why? Mostly, it's because he was supposed to be gone the rest of the year. Richie had some inside information. He was supposed to be out the whole year. For him to play in this game, to get ready, to do what he needed to do, and I'm sure we're going to find out the extent of the injury after the season's over, but for him to make himself be ready to join his team and get a game in, I think it's huge. So he gets one under his belt before we go play Florida, but the work he put in to get to this point is the reason why Matthias Ekholm is my stud.
He had a good game, Wayner, as well. He had a good game.
Yeah.
He had that assist with McDavid. I think he was a +2. Like you've been out for a couple months and you put up 15 plus minutes, on the top line there.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely. The Vikings.
And I think the Viking is a fantastic pick. I was going to take him as well. It was McDavid for me, followed by the Viking. But because both you guys have acknowledged them, I'm going to go with Evander Kane for my stud of the night. And the reason for it is after McDavid scored that goal to make it 4-2, Dallas answered to make it 4-3. And right away, Evander Kane gets the Oilers that 2-goal cushion again. It was a lucky bounce, but I don't care. The fact that he got that cushion for Skinner to not get overly nervous, because that third goal on Skinner was a little bit weak, to say the least, from the top of the face-off dot, just a slap shot to get beat through the legs. But, when he has a little bit of a cushion, there's a little less pressure on him. And with that defense, it gave us the legs to carry out and finish that game. So for that regaining of the 2-goal lead, I'm going to give it to Kaner. Kaner, you're my stud of the night.
Nice.
Good choice.
All right,
guys,
boys.
I one last thing, Rich. I want to know, in game 1, was that almost a blessing that the Oilers gave up that 2-goal lead and got blown out into game 1? And of course, that famous picture with McDavid and Draisaitl looking at each other, because ever since then they've had the lead, going into the third, and they just absolutely shut down Dallas. Absolutely shut them down.
Yeah,
I said it in another episode, Terry. That was the best thing that happened to us.
Yeah.
Great. Guys, you're not
100%.
good. Stay humble. You got to lock it down, because there's other good teams we're playing against. But if you do that, we could beat any of them. Best thing that's ever happened to them. I think that's why we feel.
Well, it's the best thing that ever happened, because it got me the Oilers in 5 instead of having them shoot Dallas. So
it did.
Yeah.
It did.
And I didn't want any extra stress by the Oilers having to, Dallas getting some life back in the series and taking it to 6 games. And anyways,
we're the smotherers this year, Rich. They're not.
We are.
To have any breathing room.
We are.
Don't worry.
And it feels great to be back in the Stanley Cup Finals. It still hasn't really fully hit me yet. I'm sure you guys are the same. But as all these media things start happening, the feeling is going to get stronger and stronger. And like we mentioned, we're going to bring some pretty cool content here coming up for this week before Wednesday's game. So stay tuned. And thanks, boys, for doing this. We're back in the Stanley Cup Finals. Hopefully we get that parade like we wanted last year. And that's going to do it for the episode. Congratulations to the 24-25 Edmonton Oilers, are the Western Conference champions. And we are going to play for Lord Stanley starting Wednesday. Thanks, boys, again for doing this. And most importantly,
go Oilers, go!
Pros know hockey, the channel you need. Oilers on the ice, unstoppable speed. Chasing the cup, we're gonna succeed. With David leading, we're built to exceed.